Hey guys, and welcome back to the Gran Turismo 4 Żółteks only challenge. If you haven't watched the previous episode, I highly recommend you watch that first. Anyways, I welcome you back to the world of Gran Turismo 4. Welcome back to Żółteks only challenge, now brought to you in 16:9 aspect ratio. Before we do anything this episode, let's just get National B license out of the way. You may be wondering, Storm, why do you want to waste so much time on licenses? But the thing is, I'm not. You see, most challenge run YouTubers try to get gold on every single license, even though they know that's not gonna benefit them in the long run. But like I said last episode, I'm not most challenge run YouTubers. And besides, why would I get all gold on the licenses when I can just use a game mechanic that'll do it for me later on? Like, I don't see the point of wasting your effort on something that's not gonna benefit you in the long run. Anyways, in terms of the actual licenses, Breaks left the chat wasn't as difficult as I remembered it. And the first 6 license tests were so easy, they're basically just an afterthought. While the B8 license, which is basically just a 180-degree corner, couldn't have been easier. And then after that, I did the coffee break for the lols. Lo and behold, the worst time on the first coffee break. In the B9 license, I literally have to do the same shit, and that fact alone somehow allowed me to get a silver. The B10 license was really easy, and the B11 rally license was even easier. And so was the B12 license. Then after that, I easily understeered my way into the finish line of B13, and then I got a silver at B14 without even actually trying. The one-lap guide run in Zeep Sheep's PT Cruiser couldn't have been easier. And finally, the graduation test was really easy. What the frick did you expect? Anyways, let's see what I get as a prize car for completing the B license. I don't give a shit! Alright, now let's see my prize car. And unfortunately, even though this car does have a yellow paint option, I unfortunately didn't get it. So, into the garage you go, never to be seen again. After that, I went to look for a car I could use in 4-wheel drive challenge and found this. Heh, nice. This car's gonna be perfect for 4-wheel drive challenge. And given that it's a boxer engine car, maybe even boxer spirit as well. Anyways, now it's time to beat FR challenge. But first, I need to go to the garage and switch to my RX-7. And here it is, in its graphics from 2005 glory. And before I forget... Anyways, let's go beat FR challenge now. The first race is at Sweet Home Seattle. So let's see how I do. First corner, and I tried to catch up to my opponents but ended up smacking into a wall instead. But it's no big deal as I managed to catch up anyways to this Z4 on the next corner. And to also overtake it. Speaking of overtaking, that's what I managed to do after getting into this corner and then outbraking the Mercedes. And then overtook this RX-7 on these annoying 90-degree corners. Then after gaining some slipstream on the straight, I tried to overtake Barbaris's Crossfire but failed. I tried to overtake it again on the outside of the track and succeeded this time. Although the Crossfire wasn't willing to give up second place. And now all I needed to do was overtake this not Skyline to claim first place. which was really easy to do. What can I say? I'm something of a sim racist myself. What? I don't know. Anyways, I just cruised to the finish line and took the win and earned 1,500 credits as a reward. The second race is at Tsukuba Circuit. The first corner came around and I managed to beat the 300ZX. And the RX-7 from the last race is back for more. Or back for less, is what I should have said. And same goes for the RX-8 right in front of it. The Z4 stood no chance as I managed to beat it using the cornering strategy. And then the Not Skyline gave me a difficult time of trying to overtake it. That is, until I got to this corner and managed to overtake it with no problem. But the fact that I know how to drive on this track and the Not Skyline doesn't allowed me to overtake it. Overall, this race was really easy, and I didn't even break a sweat keeping my first place. And with that, that's another 1,500 credits into my pocket. The third race is at none other than Special Stage Route 5. The long corner came around and... God damn it, did the Z4 guy not learn his lesson already? And then I overtook the SLK 230 compressor. Also on the same section of the track, I managed to catch up to the Silati. And then I overtook it. And then Barbaris stood no chance against the RX-7 on this corner. And neither did the 300ZX, which I managed to overtake on the next corner. I don't know why, but I'm getting TVR Speedfest flashbacks even though I never actually competed in it. Either way, across the finish line we go. And earning my well-deserved 1,500 credits. And the fourth race at Laguna Seca was pretty funny if I had to say so myself. The first corner came around and it went smoothly. But sadly, no overtakes. But that statement would become irrelevant as I managed to overtake the Skyline GTST on the next corner. Then it wasn't until this corner that I managed to overtake SVT's fake Rolls Royce. Now on the uphill section, across the sign we go, and then across this corner into the motor wagon's worst nightmare. Which is also where I managed to overtake this S13 Silvia that's so fast it might as well be considered a Nismo Silvia. Then I went past the 300ZX and across the corkscrew, which I was easily able to cut. And so on this corner, I tried to punt the S2000 off the track, and my terrible aim strikes once again, as I missed and flied off the track, causing me to lose a lot of time. And so I tried to catch back up to the S2000, off-road activity after off-road activity. And luckily I was able to catch back up, but it was still not enough to overtake it, so I had to do it. Die, S2000! And luckily for me, the S2000 went into reverse gear for absolutely no reason, allowing me to overtake it and take the first place. And even though the Nismo Silvia broke out of the cock block, that still wasn't enough to stop me from winning the race. Even though it was close. And earning another 1,500 credits on top of that. The fifth and final race is at Motorland, in which I had to drive around 4 laps just like in the Midget 2 race. Anyways, I managed to overtake Bricks and the 300ZX, but then they overtook me back. And so I cut the track, which allowed me to overtake Bricks again, and then the 300ZX on the braking zone. And so the next corner came around and... Hi, Barbaris. And then on the second lap, I managed to overtake the fake Rolls Royce. And then it wasn't until the third lap that I managed to overtake the Skyline GTST. And then literally nothing happened after I overtook the leading car. Either way, I got first place and earned insert number here credits. And yeah, that's FR challenge. Anyways, let's see what we get as a prize car for winning this event. Hopefully it's something that I can actually use. My god, why do the RNG gods hate me so much? Into the garage to rot away. Anyways, now that we got that out of the way, let's go compete in the one other event this car's eligible for. The Club RE. And so I tried the first race and I got completely destroyed. So I figured the RX-7 needed an upgrade, so I bought a Stage 1 Turbo Kit. Then after that, I tried again and got out-accelerated again. So I figured the RX-7 needed another upgrade. And so I bought the racing exhaust, which boosted me to 326 horsepower. Now let's try again and see how I do. You know what they say, third time's a charm. Anyways, the first race is at Laguna Seca. The first corner came around and it went okay. But sadly, no overtakes. But that statement became completely irrelevant as I managed to overtake Streak's RX-7. Get it because it's blue? And then on this corner, I managed to overtake this definitely not stock Mazda Cosmo Sport. Across the sign, and then I did an off-road activity to catch up to this classic RX-7 on the motor wagon's worst nightmare. And then I also managed to overtake the RX-7 right before the corkscrew. And then I tried to overtake this RX-7 but ended up bonking into it instead, almost causing it to go off the track as a result. Either way, I managed to overtake it on the final corner. And keeping my first place was no easy task. Just kidding, it was extremely easy. And earned 5,000 credits as a result, which honestly is a lot more compared to the previous events I've done. And the second race at Autumn Ring Reverse was even easier. Passed the classic RX-7 on the first corner and passed the Cosmo Sport on the next one. Then the RX-8 couldn't have been easier to overtake on this corner. On this corner, I managed to overtake Streak's RX-7 alongside the Formula Red RX-7, which I managed to overtake on the next corner, easily taking the dub for this race, and receiving my hard-earned 5,000 credits. The third race is at Special Stage Route 5 Reverse. Some people say this race is hard, but I fail to see how. I mean, yeah, my competition has pulled away from me, but I can easily catch back up to them by wall grinding this corner. It's what Terran would have wanted. And thanks to it, I managed to catch up to this white RX-7, but not quite enough to overtake it though. But that doesn't matter as I managed to overtake it anyways on the next corner. Then it took me a bit to catch up to the green RX-7, but once I did, it was very easy to overtake it. I unfortunately wasn't able to overtake the other RX-7s before the end of the first lap, but it's no big deal as I managed to overtake them by wall grinding my way into first place. No challenge run YouTuber has ever said that sentence before. Anyways, this is the only race in the event where I can say keeping my first place was a bit challenging. But it paid off, allowing me to financially recover from buying that Subaru Impreza. The fourth race is at Opera Paris, a track which everyone hates. On the first section of the track, even though I smacked into the wall, I still managed to overtake that RX-7, alongside the one in front of it. After catching up to this RX-7, which took a fucking eternity, I finally managed to overtake it, alongside the RX-8 right in front of it. Then on the speed section, I managed to overtake the Cosmo Sport, but then it overtook me back. Then I tried to overtake it again and succeeded, and then it tried to end my race I think, but failed. And thanks to the fact the Cosmo Sport was there to cockblock the other cars, I was able to build a decent lead over them and win the race as well. And earned 5 You get the point. And even though the fifth and final race at Suzuka was from a grid start, thankfully my start wasn't as tragic as FF Challenge. Anyways, I overtook the Cosmosport as we speak, and then I overtook the next 3 RX-7s using the cornering strategy. As for how I overtook Streak's RX-7, 2 words: off-road activities. And I guess Julie Kanoto was wrong. You can cut corners at Suzuka, as you can see right this second. But anyways, I just cruised to the finish line and took the win, and earned another 5,000 credits on top of that. And yeah, that's Club RE. Anyways, let's see what we get as a prize car for winning this event. Whatever I get is probably not gonna be that useful, but whatever. You know, I kinda expected it to be a car that can't even be a Żółteks. Even though this is a cool and legendary car, I unfortunately can't use it. And that's pretty much it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in episode 3.